Hello and welcome to the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts Matt Sterling and Brandon and Michelle Brooks. We are breaking down anything and everything Utica City. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome once again to the Keeper's Corner podcast. This is episode 22, following our bonus mid-season episode last week, and Utica was on the road for the Texas two-step. 2 wins to back home with, but a little bit closer in both games than I think any of us liked.
Yep, that's a thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, at the very least, the second one didn't exactly go the way that we expected it to at all. The first one was kind of along the lines. We scored as many. I think we scored as many goals as I expected anyway. But definitely Mesquite scored a bit more than I would have anticipated, especially late in the game without a sixth attacker.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a bit surprising.
Yeah, final line on that, 8-5. Utica dominated the first quarter, outscoring Mesquite 4-1. And then I think we saw the short bench start to take a toll. Segura played that first quarter, then didn't play again after that. No Salas, no Pereira. Diegues out with visa issues, and as it's been all season, visa issues keeping Zuniga out as well.
Yeah, it's the more people we have out, the more it's going to hurt. I mean, with Christian and Diegues out, those are our 2 top scorers for the team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're taking away a lot of our scoring potential by not having either one of them play. Granted, Christian, he got, if I remember correctly, he got hurt in like the first quarter.
He came into the game with a questionable designation, and as did Salas. Salas didn't play at all, but
right.
Segura, whatever it was, he must have aggravated it to the point where he couldn't go anymore.
So, and I mean, having Diegues already out, it takes a lot of power away from our offense. Defense still looked great, but if you don't have a good offense to score the goals, you only have half a team.
Where you start seeing the shallow roster is guys have to start playing out of position to try to keep rotations.
Although Moises did open up both games.
Mm-hmm. Gonzalez had a wonderful weekend.
Oh yeah, two goals scored in Mesquite with 2 assists. Even Bo had a good weekend, had a good day in Mesquite. 2 goals, 2 assists. Momo had 2 goals. It seemed like pretty repetitive for the goal scoring.
Well, again,
in Mesquite,
we don't have that many.
We don't have anybody anymore.
We don't have.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say we don't have that many people to pull the trigger right now. I mean,
Utica has scored 100 goals on the season. 31 of them have come from Diegues and Segura.
Yeah,
great, awesome.
So literally just over, just about a third.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess fortunately, the next 2 games are against 2 they're against, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Thursday's game, though, we saw a good sign from Utica in the third quarter, where they won the quarter 3-2. Yeah, we're well versed in how Utica's come out and struggled to start off the second half of games, but it looks like things are slowly getting turned around for the better.
Yeah, they definitely came out. They came into the third quarter actually hungry and actually, kind of willing to get out there and actually score some goals. I mean, it probably kind of helped a little bit with Wait a minute. That's not right.
Mm.
Never mind. I was thinking, how come we were on a power play at the beginning of the third, but that was carryover, I'm assuming, from the second period.
Yep.
The Mitchell Cardenas boarding card, because that was at 14:30. So we must have came into the fourth or the third quarter with a power play.
And hey, we converted on a power play.
Yeah, those stats are improving.
So
Slowly but surely.
not only did we score in the third quarter, but we scored on a power play, and that kind of started off the I guess momentum. Bo getting a power play goal, and then Jake following it up a few minutes later, and then Momos following that up a few minutes later. So I mean, it was definitely pretty good. Unfortunately, Mesquite answered right back within a minute of the last goal. Jamie Lovegrove getting 2 in 12 seconds.
Well, the 12 seconds was because of Andrew's blue card for obstruction.
Yes, I know. But still,
and tripping.
They were able to get into that position to not only score the one goal, but then score another not too long after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something we're going to have to watch. There's the 8 points. You play you're suspended a game. And at this time, I believe Andrew's up to 7.
I think so.
He got 2. Wait, he got 2 blue cards right there?
He got 2 blue cards on Thursday.
Wow.
He had one for handling out of the box, and then encroachment.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had another one on Friday.
Yep.
Wasn't that one tripping too?
It was.
He's either got 6 or 7, so it's
dangerous play.
Yeah. So he's either got 6 or 7, so it's something to keep an eye on down the stretch here.
Yep.
Especially as the scores get tighter, or the schedule gets tighter and tighter. But otherwise, it was a good showing Thursday, even down who they were.
He has 5 blue cards.
So 5 blue cards and a yellow, right?
5 blue cards and a yellow.
Okay, so that should be 6 points.
Still, that's getting a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, for the keeper.
I mean, honestly, if he was going to do it, do it like at our next. Do it Friday. Just get it over with for that game, so that the next game against who it is, then it can just be served and over with.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it wasn't. I was just literally clearing my throat. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little disconcerting, but we'll talk about Barella as we move into Friday's game against Dallas. Yeah. I think there's going to be some different opinions here.
I know
Friday. Friday was rough in both halves, and
we'll go with rough. We won't go with a dumpster fire.
No, it was not a dumpster fire by any means. It was rough. For anyone that didn't see our tweet, the team only dressed 14 players. 2 of those were Matt and Andrew. So you only have 12 field players to start the game.
Yep.
Which really means, because Tim's only going to see limited action.
You only have 11.
Yeah, 11 players. And then Callahan was injured in the third quarter, didn't play the fourth or overtime, so Utica was down to 10.
Yeah, he went directly out into the back, didn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I know he was going to the doctor today to get it checked out.
Mm-hmm.
But
fingers crossed.
Twice in this game, we saw Utica down 2 goals.
Yep.
Then we saw him trail by a goal. Then they took the lead.
Then we tied it. Then we took the lead.
Then we tied it, took the lead. Then Dallas stormed back from down 2 goals to take the lead.
Yep.
And then Schindler scored with 6 attackers on with 23 seconds left to play and force overtime.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that one was, a little bit of luck, a little bit of, skill on that one. It was, that could have bounced out. I mean, it could have hit that bar and, gone the wrong way and bounced out rather than bouncing in. That was definitely luck of the draw on that one.
Yep. No, it looked. I wasn't able to watch because I was working, but from my understanding, we've got to get Perella a little bit more playing time.
All right, so Perella was pulled at halftime for anyone that missed the game. Coughlin came in. That's when he picked up his third blue of the week. And honestly, the first goal was Freddie Mugin, who just toe poked it around Vitali. Upper 90, far, no angle. You could take that shot 100 times. It's not going in 99 of them.
Mooj worked his magic on that one.
Yeah.
It was Mooj.
That was not Perella. That was Mugin pulling off a miracle.
It was Mugin being Mugin. Mugin's good at pulling off those miracles. You got to give him that credit.
Moji.
I mean, he's made some really good shots, some really good goals. So, of course, I know we're all biased. We're all a little biased. Anything that Mooj does is good because we all love Mugin.
It's Mugin. And then little bit under 6 minutes, Andrade scored.
Which,
that one could kind of fall on Matt, but not a ton. It was a quick counterattack, and defense did not get back. They were tired from playing the night before, and short benches they were. Breakaways were going to be our kryptonite in this game.
And they happened often.
Yes.
And that was something I actually put in the group chat because somebody said something about Perella. It's not going to matter how good of a goalie you are if your defensive line falls apart.
Yeah,
it's not that they necessarily fell apart, though. It's not that they fell apart. They did in some instances, but for a lot of those goals came on breakaways. And like Matt said, we were tired from the night before. And I mean, we had quite a few where they rushed us. They countered, they rushed, and they got the goal.
Yeah, a bad touch here by Utica, just unsettled, or not able to settle it right, or there were a lot of passes that were behind the attacker that were easily picked off and turned into a counterattack.
Mm-hmm.
With the advantage of facing that direction, Dallas was off to the races.
Well, and then 5 minutes later, Moy finally answered and brought us to 2-1 to end the fourth quarter. Thank God for first quarter. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Moy had a great weekend, like we said. Goals came from everywhere in this game. Second quarter, really the big play came just before the half when Perella came out of his box and was called for a handball.
Yep.
And was that a shootout?
Yes, it was awarded as a shootout. I mean, shootouts go in more times than we see them not go in. By
Agreed.
A lot. So to see a 1-0 shootout to end it was kind of odd, but they awarded the shootout. It's 4-2 going into the half. I honestly, I don't know what Perella does differently there.
I mean, there's nothing anybody could have done differently.
Yeah, again, the defense got beat down the field. Perella had to come off his line, out of his box. Mm-hmm. He slid to try to make a tackle. just got his, like toe on it and left it spinning in front of him. So when his arm came down to catch himself, it right into the ball.
Yeah. I don't necessarily see him doing much different in that first half. I don't see him doing much better. I understood the reasoning for pulling him. I did. If the defense isn't going to be there, we need our best in goal. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason I think he was pulled, not because he was playing poorly, but just we needed our best.
We needed the wall of steel.
We needed Mr. Stretch in goal.
Honestly, if Coughlin's in goal in the first half, I still think they get 3, if not 4 goals. Just those breakaways. It was nothing on Perella.
He might have been able to stop one. I don't think he would have stopped, anything more than that. But I mean, you look at the first half, and I mean, for what Perella played, he had only a 60% save percentage, 0.57. So I mean, it wasn't great, but again, it was half the time it was 1-on-1, 2-on-1, and I mean, in that situation, it's tough. It's you have a split second to react, or it's going in, and unfortunately, he didn't hit those saves. But it's not that he played poorly at all.
Yep, because they go into the locker room, they come out, Andrew suited up.
Yep.
And then again, we managed to break completely the third quarter slump.
Yeah, they came out with a fire under them and played like we haven't seen them play in a while.
Yeah, 3-0 for the third quarter is unheard of for Utica. Coming out, Moy starting it off.
Yeah, Moy started off, and then
Jake firing off, and then Bo hitting it. I mean,
I think we've also got to remember, because I think at this point we were already a little, for lack of a better term, pissed off because they didn't get the blue card for boarding Liam the way or slamming into Liam the way they did.
Yeah, that was towards the end of the third, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
or no, end of the second. Because it happened, I think, just before halftime. Possibly. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at the game. Go there.
Yeah, someone got hit in the face. That, never got called, and it just, I don't know. I'm not going to put anything on the refs. It was a hard-fought physical game both ways, and honestly, it's a good thing we got out of there with a win. I mean, if we'd lost, with a bench as short as it was, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, it was, the fact that we even fought back to get into the position we were at was, kind of a miracle in itself. We
clawed.
We scraped and clawed our way back to, getting back, even taking the lead short, for 5 minutes. Or no, not even 5 minutes. It was like 7 minutes, about 7 minutes until, Dallas finally was able to come back with like 5.5 remaining. And then, unfortunately, they get awarded with the penalty kick there, because I believe that was Coughlin's. Hang on, I'm just trying to remember.
Coughlin's dangerous play.
Yeah,
where he came out and kind of kicked up and.
Yeah, which he's done. It's not the first time he's done that.
No,
I mean, you look at the highlight reel
from last year.
I believe it's the intro video.
The undeniable video.
Yeah,
when he comes up with that knee he jumps up to try to get a ball, and
he's basically kneeing the guy in the face. So I mean, it's just, he's known for doing that, and it's a little scary.
Yep.
But unfortunately, Andrade comes away with a goal, and it's getting the heart racing a little bit towards the end there when we bring the sixth attacker on. Which, I mean, I don't remember the last time we did that.
Baltimore.
Last time we had to, it was probably Baltimore.
It was the playoff game against Baltimore because it was Gonzaga.
I mean, we don't see the sixth attacker. We don't usually need to.
And then thank God for Jake.
Jake hammering it home last minute. That was it was terrifying.
Which obviously brought us into overtime. Neither team could make any sort of big play to try to score, to try to finish it.
Yeah, it was I mean, not for lack of trying, but it was a pretty uneventful overtime. Overtime one.
It was as short and as tired as Utica clearly was. Dallas looked just as tired.
Yep. At that point, it was shot for shot.
Well, I think the announcers said it best. Their team has got a lot of rookies on it, and they're not used to going into the extra innings. Basically, they're not used to going past 4 quarters, or having to go that far. So, I mean, going into the overtime, that's uncharted territory for a lot of them, and unfortunately, they had probably expended a lot of their energy, in the fourth, and just trying to come back.
Mm-hmm. And we probably expended what possibly little energy we had trying to stay ahead.
Yeah.
Well, that was our 4th game of overtime this year.
Third or fourth.
I know we went overtime in Baltimore.
And won. Yeah. And then overtime against Baltimore. Nope, 4th. Then overtime against Baltimore again, and we lost. Overtime against St. Louis, and then overtime against Dallas.
Yeah.
And didn't St. Louis go to a shootout too?
Yes.
Yes.
Because Bo was the only one that scored on that one, I believe.
He didn't.
Because I believe Christian didn't score, Moy didn't score, and then Bo did. Something like that.
Yeah.
Not that order, but.
And then, which brought us into shootout territory.
Which all I can say is thank God for Mr. Stretch.
I would say thank God for Obasi.
Obasi did his thing. You see him step up. There is no one better on Utica at one-on-one. Obasi, one-on-one against anybody.
Break an ankle.
He's going to get past them. And you saw those lanky legs just doing his thing and just blowing past the keeper. I mean, again, one-on-one, he's unparalleled.
Yeah, he just hit him with the scissor step over. Keeper fouled was right, and
Obasi juked left, and
Obasi just walked it right past him. That St. Louis game, it was Bo that scored, and it was Moy and Christian that missed.
Okay.
Good job. For me remembering stuff.
Yeah. There's a first.
But yeah, I mean, Obasi, literally the only one that scores between, himself, Momo, and Bo, which I have to make this comment because it bothered me substantially when he stepped up to that and looked terrified. You can't do that. I understand you're under a lot of pressure because you think that, if you score this, the game's over. If he scored, it was done. There was no third shot. Mugen was not going to be coming up to the plate. I'm using baseball terms a lot for some reason. I don't know.
Whatever.
But if, he scored, so I understand there was a lot of pressure there, but poker face, Bo. Please. Don't scare us like that.
Yeah, this was a game kind of a tale of two bows.
Yep.
In the third quarter, when he got his goal and was, just asserting himself out there.
Same old Bo.
Yeah, it was what we've come to expect to see. Yes, he had the assist in the second quarter, and that was the one that tied the game at 2. But the fourth quarter, when Dallas went on that run, you could see it. Bo's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. And
Yep.
the frustration was starting to boil over. And I know it's one of my pet peeves, and I'm sure it is for you guys as well. If he has a bad touch or, the shot doesn't fall where he wants it to, yeah, a lot of times he stands there for 3, 4, 5 seconds.
And throws his hands in the air.
Yeah, and it's 5-on-4 going the other way.
Yep. Yeah, you can't. Bo wears his heart on his sleeve, it seems like. And he needs to really harden himself. I understand being hard on yourself when you hit a shot or you don't hit a shot that you really feel like you should have. Mm-hmm. But you got to just move past it real fast.
Well,
because it's not like, it's not like full-length soccer. It's indoor. If you don't recover fast and get back to help your team, they score. People score because all of a sudden they're on a power play because you're pouting.
Yeah.
You can't pout.
Well, look at Christian. If he doesn't make a goal, he's hard on himself, but he's one of the first ones to turn around and chase the person down.
Yes, and he has the speed to back it up. Not that Bo doesn't have the speed to get back. He can be fast when he needs to be. We saw that at the last home game.
But that's not what we're saying.
No, and that's why I like the pairing of Bordeaux with Bo as captain. I can't think of the last time I saw Nate get overtly upset.
No.
Or yell at a ref, or he's the level head next to Bo's raw emotion.
To Bo's fire, yep.
Yeah. Bo is a very emotional player. Very emotional player. But sometimes you need to check yourself, basically, and so he's just got to get better at that.
Well, I will admit that Andrew showed a lot of emotion after each shot that he blocked in Dallas.
Oh, you're talking about in the shootout?
Yes.
Yeah, he was fired up for sure. After he blocked those first 2, I think he really got some, he felt the momentum, and that carried him through. I mean, none of them were even close. He cut the angles superbly. They couldn't even get close to the goal. I mean, I think the closest it got was Mooj, and that was just because he, went off to the side and got, fairly close. Like, actual distance wise.
Yeah.
Other than that, nobody even got close to the goal.
I'm glad the keeper change was made for Coughlin in goal, just because it went to the shootout. As we heard from Perella last week, that shootout in St. Louis was his first shootout. Mm-hmm. That game in Dallas was his 16th game in the MASL. It's good to have that steadying veteran presence back there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to see Perella in that situation. I don't think it would have turned out well for us. Not to take away from his ability, but frankly, Coughlin is better, and he was better suited to be in that situation.
Perella's a great goalie. He's a great keeper. But the team reacts better to Andrew back there directing traffic and barking orders, and you go here and come over here, and Perella doesn't do that.
At least not on camera.
No, at least not on camera.
Because I'll say when we're there in person, we're definitely ball watching and
Screaming.
Screaming, yelling,
Shrieking. All
chanting, flag waving,
heckling.
Anyway,
we're good at that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But 2 wins for Utica. That moves them to 11-3 on the season. They're second in the East. They are 2.5 games behind Florida and 2.5 games ahead of Milwaukee. So, because of that, or maybe a game and a half ahead of Milwaukee, as we record, the Milwaukee and Tropics game is muted on my TV because this could either pull Florida far enough ahead where I don't give Utica really any chance of catching them, or it could knock it back to a 2-goal game, spread where anything can happen down the stretch.
Yeah,
and
we're watching it too. We literally have you up on one screen and we have that up on the other. I mean, it's an important match for Utica. Not so much it is important for these two teams as well, but really for us, it's pretty important. I mean, right now we're all kind of sweating bullets given that Florida is leading, but there's still, a quarter and a half to go. So, and it looks like Florida's on a penalty kill right now, I'm assuming. They were. There's 5 now, so they must have gotten over it. Anyway, let's. So I don't want to get sucked into the game.
Yeah,
I'll just sit here and watch it.
At least the next game's coming up. We've got a chance to rest a little bit heading into them.
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair. I think we're at that point we can discuss the next couple of games.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I think these next 2 games are pretty important. Even who they're against. The fact that we're going against Rochester for the next 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
This is our recovery point. We need our best to get taken care of, to get healthy, and to get sorry, just watch the game too.
Can you tell when I turn up with the TV?
Well, I was looking at the other screen watching the almost goal there by Florida.
Oh, Jesus.
But anyway, these next 2 games are extremely important for our team to not only get healthy, but potentially buying us some time to get, the visa issues taken care of, which who knows what the problem is there. Yeah. They're actually very important, regardless of who they're against.
So it is important to note that the roster freeze and official trade deadline is this Thursday. Mm-hmm. It's the last chance to add anyone to the roster, active or inactive or otherwise. My understanding from a post in the MASL Off the Wall group is that as long as the visa things get cleared up, those guys are cleared to return for the playoffs. I don't know if they'll be able to return for the regular season, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping that they get everything figured out with Diegues and Zuniga. We need Ricardo back.
At the very least, we need Diegues because he has that
chemistry.
Between him, Segura, and Moy, they have that chemistry between the 3 of them.
Southern connection.
They are they're the trinity of our scoring right now. And without them, it definitely makes it a problem going forward.
Let's not forget about Logan.
And that's another one.
Yeah.
Logan's out as well. He had been kind of transitioned more to a defensive role this season, but he has plenty of scoring potential. So I mean, we have a lot of problems on the roster right now, and we got to get it sorted out.
It's just, we came into the season talking about our depth, and it's really, really being tested.
Mm-hmm.
If you had asked me in November, honestly, I would have thought we would have filled it out a little bit more, tried to get to that 22, 23 players on the roster so you have depth for these injuries, and we've been stuck on 20 since they signed the guys after the Mississauga game, or the Canada scrimmage.
I mean, we've had the one that's been kind of up in the air, but again, that one's also visa issues.
Yeah.
I mean, we're struggling in that front, and who knows what the problem is there. It's, I'm not going to say anything either way, but
no.
It's costing us heavily. I mean, we've seen Zuniga. We've seen him play. We want to see more, but we just can't. And it's killing us. And now the fact that it's affecting Diegues as well is just, it's painful. It's really painful.
Well, I'd still rather have 1 or 2 than 12.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with all those. But, I mean, it's just, there were, set structures for bringing these guys in. And then the laws about that changed.
Mm-hmm.
And the paperwork changed. And the league has provided counsel to try to help. And we all know where the finger points for the blame on this.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Let's not get into that, though.
Don't want to go there.
No.
Not that kind of podcast.
We could be if you guys want to do a second podcast.
No,
I'm good.
we're good.
No. I don't need everyone to just hate us one way or another.
They probably already do.
Yeah, probably. But
if they hate you, it must be because you're doing something right.
Oh, God, no, just...
Inspirational Bland Facebook post says.
Anyway.
Anywho.
So hopefully the team can get healthy. Friday night, we are at Rochester.
And so are...
Shut up!
2 of us, anyway.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 of us here will be there. As well as our friend of the show, the FC fanatic, Matt Huber.
Shut up, Mr. Blue Hair.
Once again, sitting right next to the bench. You can't miss us. Stop by, say hi. When I reached out to Liam on Twitter, asked him how he was feeling, he told me, he's going to check with the doctor today and see what the verdict is. But I told him, stop by if he's not playing, because first beer's on me.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifice your body like that.
I definitely picked up some supplies, at least for our next night game, but I'm half tempted to have some of it, at the next game, some supplies. So I'm kind of thinking about wearing that for this coming game on Friday. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm. You get to watch on TV. It'll
Shut
be
up.
fine. But unfortunately, as you can all tell, someone is not going to be able to make it.
Shut up.
So it's going to be the boys heading out to the game.
Shut up.
But, we'll be there, and we'll be extra loud for the ladies.
Shut up.
Yeah, it depends on the game. If it's a lot like the first Rochester game, there wasn't a whole lot to scream and yell about. But if it gets physical, it gets physical and kind of sloppy, and there are some questionable calls,
We already know you're good at yelling over them, Matt, when you're right by the bench.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It can be a very quiet road venue. I will make myself heard. Tie game?
Tie game?
Looks like tie.
Tie game for Milwaukee.
I want to shave that guy's head. Does he have a man bun?
No, it's a helmet.
Seriously?
Yeah,
it looks like padding.
Go back.
Now,
number 24.
One thing.
No, I meant the goalie for.
One thing I am a little interested about is speaking about the accumulation of points.
Mm-hmm.
One to keep in mind is Anthony Rosano. He is 6 points right now, and honestly, we usually see him get a couple of blue cards, or maybe not a couple of blue cards, but we see him accumulate a few fouls during most of the games that we've watched him.
Andrew isn't even on the list.
He is. Rosano's a
They
pretty.
haven't updated it yet.
Rosano's a pretty rough and tumble player. He's good. He's pretty good, but he's not. He's definitely rough. And over these next 2 games, I could see him potentially hitting his
7th or 8th.
Some point accumulation here, and that could negatively affect them potentially.
Well, if the latest numbers are true, he has 5 blues and 4 yellows, which should. I don't know how those all came down over the weekend. That would be 9 points.
Yeah.
That's a suspension.
So he might be out Friday. We'll have to keep an eye on the MASL website to see what's up.
Because, for no disrespect to Rochester, but for what little scoring potential they have, he's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
He is up there for scoring with Rochester. So
yeah, he leads the team, tied with Michael Cunningham and Jeremy Ortiz. They each have 7 goals apiece, but he leads the team in points. He's got 5 assists to go with that.
Yep. So, and he's played all but one of their games, it looks like. Looks like he's played 15 out of their 16 games, which, he definitely leads the team in penalty minutes by a lot. He's the only one that is double digits, and he has a good 30 minutes of penalty minutes compared to 8 or 9 for the rest of the team. So that just goes along with what I already said. He's a rough player. Good, but rough.
Yeah, Mayanga's getting up there. He's got 5 blue cards on the season. He had another 2 in Florida yesterday to give him the 5. He's the guy that had the 2 against us 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it's 4-3 now. All right.
Poop.
Anyway.
It's still the 3rd quarter, so got a whole other quarter to go through for them. I'm sure we'll be watching it once we're finished up.
Mm-hmm. And then Sunday, Rochester comes to the odd 2:00 game.
Whoop, whoop.
Maybe Soccer Sam will have the fortune to make this trip.
Be nice to see him. It was. I was kind of. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that was hoping to run into Soccer Sam from the last time. We saw him at the Rochester game when we were out there. At least I did anyway. He came right up behind me and threw an arm up around me. So that was a shocker. But definitely a nice guy. I'm hoping to see him for at least the Friday game. I'm sure we'll see him. But the Saturday or the Sunday game, it'd be nice. If not, hopefully it's not as unfortunate as the last time. But it is what it is.
Yeah. I'm sure, much like this last Rochester game, we'll see a little bit more of Goldman out there. Get him some more experience. help with that short bench. I will say the one thing that's helpful for Sunday's game is, yeah, it's a quick turnaround for us, but it's a quicker one for Rochester. They have to play us Friday, then they're at home to play the Blast Saturday, and then they have to travel down the Thruway to play us Sunday.
Ooh,
Yeah.
tired.
You can thank Mrs. Sauga for that.
Tired. Okay.
That is unfortunate. That is, most teams don't have to do a three game stretch, so
I bet if we checked, they're the only one in the league.
They're going to be very tired on Sunday. Hopefully they pace themselves a little bit, but
yeah, if they want to take Friday night and Sunday off and play a full 4 quarters on Saturday, that would be great.
Perfect. Yeah, just
come to the game and stand on the field. We'll just move around you.
If they want to just pretend that they're
tie game again.
If they want to just sit down on the field and pretend that they're cones and we can just dribble around them, that's fine.
Yeah, cones or wet floor signs or whatever it takes.
What have you?
Just go ahead and rest up, guys.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, never underestimating them.
That chip.
They have shown what happens when you start underestimating them, because that's when they start scoring on you. So,
but a quick look at the standings. So Tropics, Utica, Milwaukee, those are going to be your 1, 2, 3 in the East, no matter what happens with this game.
There's a constant battle for 4th place, I've noticed.
Yes.
There is.
It either goes between Harrisburg.
I don't know what that was.
Baltimore. He's drunk. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
He's not actually drunk. It was a water bottle.
I said it's a great thing about podcasts. No professionalism.
No profession. Yeah, it's going between Baltimore and Harrisburg. This whole. Are you trying to tell me you wanted to wrap it up?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, Baltimore's up to a half-game lead. And if it goes down to it and head-to-head, I believe they're tied 1-1, and they have 2 more games to play this season against each other, I think.
Well, I know Friday it's Baltimore versus Orlando, and Orlando did beat Baltimore previously. So, I don't...
Yeah, one time, and that was before everything, the owner skipped town and all the players left.
But that's what I'm saying. If maybe Orlando could figure something out and possibly beat them again, that'd be great. Thanks. And then Harrisburg plays Orlando on Saturday.
So outside of those 5 teams in the East, the Comets are 8-7, the Ambush are 8-9, and then the Seawolves and Lancers are combined 1-29.
Well, it's already said that Rochester is eliminated.
Rochester's officially eliminated. The Seawolves are all but eliminated.
Yeah.
The Ambush and Comets are really just, at this point, they're trying to have a 500 season.
Holy crap, I thought Monterey was undefeated. Who did they lose to?
Tacoma, I believe.
Seriously?
Wow.
But the Monterey Flash are the first team to clinch a playoff appearance at 16-1. Yep. The Sockers are second in the West at 12-4. Soles de Sonora is third. They've finally clawed above 500. Tacoma went 1-1 in their Texas two-step, beating Dallas, but losing to the Outlaws today. And that left them at 7-9 for 4th place. And then after that, it's a bunch of teams that are all under 500. The Fury at 6-8, the Outlaws 5-11. Turlock. Remember when Turlock beat San Diego at San Diego to start the year?
Yes.
And everybody jumped on the Turlock train?
And then the Turlock train imploded?
Yeah, then everybody got off the Turlock train very fast. Without ever saying that they were on it.
As they were going off the rails.
It was like that embarrassing phase in high school where you're part of a fad and then you never admit to being part of that.
Yep.
And then in last place are the Sidekicks at 2 and 14.
We almost made that 3.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Come on, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
All right, we're just rambling.
But otherwise, things are really starting to shape up here. Injuries aside. Utica has cemented itself as second or third in the East, barring a Tropics meltdown.
That'd be great.
It would be great. Once again, folks, we'd like to thank you for listening. As always, follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Keepers Corner PD on Twitter, or the Facebook page Keepers Corner Podcast. You can subscribe to us on Google Play, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And don't forget to check our TeePublic store, which has new items added every Friday. This past week, we unveiled an Obasi shirt with "I'm the Boss."
Like a boss.
Like a boss.
Thought that was pretty clever.
Especially after he scores the winning goal in the shootout. That just became even more prominent.
And looking cool as a cucumber. Whole time.
And we should have a pretty good one out this week that we hope everyone enjoys.
Okay.
Any hints?
You guys have already seen it.
Any hints you want to give?
I
know we've already seen it.
We'll just say it's going to be sensational.
Also, something else that people can look forward to, we might finally have a guest that isn't Huber on our show.
It is in the works. Yep.
I'm trying.
Probably going to be a couple weeks, but we are definitely in the works and talks with someone.
Very close to our hearts.
Yeah, this one's all you guys. You're running point.
No, it's not even him, it's me. He's telling me what to type in the emails, though.
Ooh.
I have been dictating the emails to her because I think I have a little bit more tact than the raging bull.
Let me talk to blank. Let me do it. Here we go, being excellent at finishing again.
Oh yeah, that's we don't just like Utica sometimes forgets their finishing shrews. We just
forget our finishing mouths.
Yeah, we just threw them out and burned them.
I was like, just like us trying to finish a podcast. Holy crow!
All right, back on track with the ending. Thanks for listening. As always, I'm Matt.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Michelle.
Hopefully, we'll see you guys in Rochester.
Rochester.